Hey everybody! I wanted to share with you my finished December daily album for 2018. It is a chunky album, as you can see here, and I will probably keep this ribbon on it as I have it stored, just to kind of contain it. I could have gone with 2 albums, but I didn't really want to do that. I don't mind it being chunky. So I'm going to do that. You can see that the cover comes from Color Cast Designs. It's their laser cut wood veneer, which is just gorgeous. And it is the Traveler's Notebook size. So it's roughly 4 1/4 by 8 inches. The first page, the intro page, is just a combination of patterned paper, some old, some new, and an acrylic piece from Color Cast Designs that I just loved. I haven't always done an intentions page, but that's something that Allie Edwards always does, and so I thought I would give it a try this year. So on the left I have a piece of pattern paper with some printed acetate on top, and this was originally I think a 6 by 8 piece, and I just cut it down to fit. And then over here on the right I have my intentions that are all typed out. It basically talks about how December can be a hard month for me, and so I'm going to focus on self-care for this particular December daily. Then I have just kind of a placeholder, a little bit of a space to breathe, and I do that periodically throughout the album. I incorporated some of these 3 by 8 page protectors that I bought from Allie Edwards' site because I wanted to use the printables that I had purchased from Geraldine Sy on In a Creative Bubble. And so you'll see those, and I don't know if you can notice or not, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but these actually have 6 holes in them. And at first that really bothered me. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make peace with those extra holes. But just as everyone said, once they're in my album, I don't even notice them, so it really wasn't a big deal at all. Day 1 is all about, you know, decorating my house and putting up my Christmas tree and that kind of thing. And it's actually multiple pages. So you can see some of my details, and then you can see my tree here. But the story doesn't happen till here, and it was all about having a migraine and how I didn't want to let that ruin my plans to decorate for the holiday. Day 2 was a Sunday, and so day 2 is all about how I feel about Sunday afternoons and Sunday evenings, and I included a couple of pictures of a stitching project that I'm working on. You can see my little dog Jojo in the background there, and I'm wearing my granny nightgown that I love so much. So day 3 is a picture of me with my head on my desk during my planning period at school. I was still struggling with the migraine, and this is a pull-out pocket. I want to say I got this idea maybe from Amy Gretchen, but I could be wrong on that. But I love being able to do a pocket and having multiple pages of journaling. And I put this little tab with the star on it, so I would remember to pull that out and read it. You can see I'm using different numbers, different color palettes, different products all through the album, which I absolutely love. I had kind of a hard start to December, just, you know, word of warning. So here we have sort of another transition spread. Day 4, I called it Don't Cry in Public because I was having a hard time with my new haircut and just wasn't feeling great about myself. Again, I have my letter here in a pocket and a reminder to be merry, because I most certainly was not. Day 5 is about the lunch that my friend Vonda brought me, and I wrote her a letter and I included here. This time it's more of a tip-in so that I can have multiple pages of journaling. And this, I don't know if you notice, is a divided page protector. So it has a small space up here and then a larger one down here. And I just included patterned paper there, but you could do lots of different things in that pocket. Another kind of transition spread. Day 6 is about my love of checking out books from the library. So I took a screenshot of the books that I currently had checked out on my Kindle app, and then I write a little bit to the library there. Day 7, Tracy and I spent the evening in my town, and so I wrote a letter to Bowling Green. I included some small photos over here on the left because the lighting wasn't great. It's really hard to get nighttime pictures of Christmas lights that I think look really awesome. And they just looked better small than they did printed out in like a 3x4 or 4x6. And then I included this is like a cut apart card that I layered one-dimensional piece upon so that it would have a little bit more texture. And then I put a black and white photo of Tracy and me here on the back. My letter this time is a letter to Bowling Green. I am using some elements over and over again. I'm using some washi tape. I'm using stars over and over again. I'm using word labels, little stickers over and over again. Day 8 was a day that my daughter and I spent together shopping in Nashville. And so my letter for that day is to her. And then I have a page protector that I cut down in order to use because I had some 2x2 pictures that I thought would be really cute to include. And then a bigger picture of her. We'd gone to the Porter Flea Market. One last little picture of her. We were at dinner there. Day 9 is all about my love of Target and their gift wrap. So I wrote my letter to Target. And then for this photo, I actually printed it 4x6. And then I folded it in half so that you could see the wrapping paper on both sides of the turn there. I thought that was kind of neat. Well, this one has popped out. I'll have to fix that. Here's my next little intro page. Day 10, I have this piece of printed acetate, and under it a picture of my bedroom, my bed. And I just thought that made it kind of dreamy, sort of, I don't know, sort of cozy feeling. I repeated those same, circles over here. And then I handwrote my journaling, partly because I prefer handwritten journaling, and partly because I was just tired of seeing all the typed words in my album. I wanted to do something different. Day 11, I snapped a selfie in the faculty restroom, and I did a little bit of a list over here, and then I wrote my letter, small though it is, in the white space of that photo. I thought that was a good use of space. Day 12, it was just a work day. There wasn't really anything for me to talk about that was holiday related. I wasn't particularly in a great mood or in a bad one, either way. And so I found this on Instagram and did a screenshot and printed it out because I thought it was a good, just kind of measure of where I am right now. That's totally fine. Day 13 also didn't have a picture, but I had gone to Kroger to pick up my groceries using the click list service, and I thought that would be awesome to include. So what this is my actual click list order with my receipt so that I could look back in, 20 years and see what I was buying before Christmas of this year. And then I wrote a letter to Click List because it totally makes me happy and has changed my life in positive ways. Day 14 is about a local chocolate store, Mary Jane's Chocolates, and how much I enjoy it. And then on the back here, I have my journaling on a couple of tags. I like using little bits of ribbon and fiber in a mini album because I think it adds some interest and some character. And so I tried to use those opportunities like those tags to make that happen. Day 15 is all about taking JoJo to see the Santa at PetSmart. He was rather sad. And my journaling is to PetSmart and kind of how they need to pick up on their game and maybe have a better Santa in years future. Day 16, again, we're back to, another cozy day. And I just, have a picture of myself wrapped up on the couch with my hot cocoa and staring at my Christmas lights. So this is a letter to myself about, not feeling guilty for taking it easy when you need to. Day 17 is focusing on a dinner that I had with our friend Leela and with Tracy here in Bowling Green. So here's a group shot that we were able to set up our phones and take outside in front of the restaurant, and then a little letter to her there. And again, I'm repeating some of the same things. I always have a number on one of the pages. I'm doing lots of printed die cuts. This is something that's pretty old, but I wanted to include it, like a little touch of ribbon here. I'm trying to create some continuity through the album by using a mixture of supplies that you see, more than once. Day 18 is a letter to my students about the wonderful little gifts that they gave me. I have a picture of some tamales that one of my students' mothers made. I made a list of the different items that students gave me, and then here in the pocket there are some cards that students gave me. Day 19 is the last day of school for me, and so I used a really strong pattern and I put these kind of big alphabet letters on it. I thought that was fun. And then over here I have just a little picture of what I was wearing that day, but I filled the page with lots of word stickers, partly because that's something I don't often let myself do, but also because I thought this was a perfect opportunity to kind of use up my stash and to not feel guilty about it, and to add some interest at the same time. Day 20, Tracy and I spent together, so my letter for day 20 is to her. And on this photo, we have a photo of us together. And then I have a tip in. Here's the photo of McKay's bookstore that we visited. And here's a photo she took of me holding an album. But I like that. I like how the wreath peeks out from underneath. I like that I use this little die cut as a way to turn the page. And then I backed it with a different die cut so it wasn't just totally plain white. I really liked using these little wood veneer trees from Color Cast Designs. That was fun. Both of these are old papers, but I think they mix really well. This little flag here came from Pretty Little Studio last year or 2 years ago. So this is a great example of a page that mixes a lot of old products, but I think still looks really fresh just because I also included this new die cut from the Maggie Holmes collection, the crepe paper collection. Day 21 was about going to the doctor and just taking care of myself in that way. Sorry, I've got a weird glare. I hand wrote that journaling because I didn't have a lot to say and because I really do like the look of handwritten journaling. And then I used this 4x6 photo of my doctor's office with a little sticker up there about It's a Wonderful Life. I went right on to day 22 on the back of that, and you can see I had a manicure then. Not now, but I had one then. And then I wrote a little letter to my manicurist. This is one of those divided page protectors, but I didn't want to just put paper at the top, and so instead I stapled a die cut, and I thought that looked kind of interesting. Day 23 is just a photo of JoJo looking all snuggly in his little coat. And again, I used some printed die cuts. Here you have the number of the day, along with all of this is on top of a card from In a Creative Bubble that I cut down to fit that portion. And then over here I have a printed card just for decoration, and then a little note that I wrote to JoJo. Day 24, Christmas Eve, was about celebrating with my friends, the Davenports. So here's a picture of Vonda and me. And then again, I'm using some of the big numbers again. I'm repeating the star element for a little bit of continuity. Over here on the right, there's a picture that they took of Kelsey and me. Then I have a letter to the Davenports here, to the entire family, because I'd already written a letter to Vonda, and so it felt weird to do a secondary letter to her. So I just did that one to the whole family. And here are some candid shots of opening gifts and just relaxing after we had eaten. Day 25, Christmas, focuses on our little family celebration. Here's a cute picture I took of Kelsey and Jake. Notice the star paper and the star elements to kind of repeat that. I included the little Santa figure because I thought that was apropos. And then here I have a pocket where I have included my letter to Kelsey and Jake, as well as a handful of 3x4 photos that I want to have with Christmas Day, but weren't necessarily good enough in terms of color and composition to warrant their own space on their own page, right? Plus, I was really aware at this point that my album was getting super chunky, and I was trying to mitigate the number of pages that I was using per spread. Day 26 is about the amazing gift that several scrap gals made for me. Kelly Reich organized a special Christmas gift for me that so many scrap gals sent in pages that they made, and she formed a book out of them. Many people sent me small little gifts that were just so considerate, and so I wanted to make sure that I wrote a letter to honor their gift. But also I wanted to make sure that I had pictures of all the pages. And so I did these collage prints on 4x6, and it is a picture of every page of the book, which I think is really special. And then on the back I did another picture of just the cover. This cover is something that Jessica Upton designed especially for me. I mean, she's so awesome. And I can't even begin to tell you all how amazing that book is and how special it felt to be able, to receive that and to feel that love. That was pretty amazing. Day 27 was, it was a little bit of a cop-out, okay? I'll admit it. I was tired. I was like, is this book ever going to be over? And so I just included a photo and where I was. This was a trip to my chiropractor. Day 28 was a little bit of a rush job as well. Again, I was really feeling low on my energy, and I thought I don't have a lot to say about today. So I took a picture of several magazines that I had purchased to read over the holidays and just wrote a little bit about that. I never did get around to reading them as much as I wanted to, but that's okay. They're still here. Day 29, one of my great friends, Lori, and I took a trip to Paducah to the largest fabric store in Kentucky. So this is a photo of a fabric display. Then I have my letter on the back side to Lori. And here's another picture of the fabric store and just the date there. Day 30, my friend Vonda and I went to celebrate her birthday. And we went to the Frist Museum and then out to lunch in Nashville. So here we are, a selfie at the Frist outside. And I had already written a letter to Vonda, and I'd already written a letter to her family, so it seemed a little bit of overkill to do another one. So I wrote this letter to Nashville, because even though that's not my town, I do spend an awful lot of time there. Here are a few more pictures of our day together. And day 31, I didn't have any special plans for New Year's Eve. And so I thought instead of dwelling on that or like feeling bad about it, I would take it as an opportunity to say goodbye to 2018. So I made this little graphic and listed a bunch of the things that I had accomplished or done in 2018. And then I wrote just a little bit of a goodbye. 2018 was a good year, but I was ready to say goodbye and move on to new and hopefully even better things. Oh no, my one fell off. I need to stick that baby back down, don't I? Okay, and then on the back, I didn't want to leave just a blank page, and so I included one more printed chipboard piece just to give it a little bit of a closing. So there you have it, my very chunky December Daily 2018. I bet a lot of you already finished yours and you shared them and everything. I'm a little bit behind the time, but I had set a goal for myself that I would finish my December Daily by the end of January. And I actually beat that goal by about 11 days. I finished it on January 20th. So I feel really good about that. I feel accomplished, but I'm glad that it's over and I'm ready to move on to something that isn't Christmas themed. So thanks for watching. If you liked this, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.